Hey guys, my name is Ashtongleckman, and thank you so much for joining me in this video where we're going to be talking a little bit about voicing. First thing I'd like to say is thank you guys so much for 5,000 subscribers. I really appreciate the support, and there's going to be lots of great stuff in 2018. There's going to be more music theory and composition tutorials, behind the score episodes every single month, and so it's going to be lots of great stuff. If you guys have any more questions or any recommendations, please do leave those down in the video comments. But today we're going to be talking about voicing and its relationship to film scoring. Voicing is very important in music in general, but also in film scoring in specific, because on a day-to-day basis we're dealing with the orchestra, and the orchestra allows us a grand amount of possibilities in terms of the way that we can make it sound different and interesting. And the way for which we use different instruments to voice chords and stuff like that is a very important aspect in the way that we write music. And a lot of composers are brilliant at the way that they voice and build their chords, and Howard Shore, John Williams, stuff like that. The three different main chord voicings that you will have are closed voicing, open voicing, and open voicing with the doubled fifth. I like to just for a second read the dictionary definition of voicing because it does a very good job in describing what the hell it is. So, voicing is the manner in which one distributes or spaces notes and chords among the various instruments. So, pretty much what I described, but so here's something you would have learned in the first month if you took piano lessons or music theory lessons. So, we have like a C major chord, which is built off of the one, volume here, the 1, 3, and the 5, right? It sounds nice. But if we voice that differently, if we take C, skip the third, go just right to the fifth, and then introduce the C on the highest voice, now we're voicing it differently. And then if we do that exact same progression with this different voicing, we get a much more beautiful open sound. And that's just one technique, and then of course you can expand that to the larger orchestra. And you get a much more broader sound. So it's a very helpful technique when you are trying to make the orchestra sound less muddy, especially in the brass section. It's very important that your voices are quite open, because the timbre of brass instruments is so incredibly strong that if you have them super close together, it starts getting very muddy. And a lot of the issues that beginner composers will have is that they'll just bring up ensemble patches and just sort of smack the chords there, and then they'll double it with the string ensemble, boom, and then you end up getting this very muddy ensemble, which doesn't necessarily sound planned because it wasn't, because you aren't actually assigning different instruments to different voices, and really doing all that you can to make sure that each different section has their place in the larger picture. And that's really what I did this video a while back called The Art of Polyphony, and the way for which we have different things that create one larger picture, right? And it's very similar when it comes to voicing as well, the way that we use the orchestra in order to get what we want in many different ways and approaches. It's very important. So what I'd like to do here is take you guys through this cue, and the awesome thing about this is, since I still own the music property to Hidden, this film score that I wrote, I can take you guys behind the scenes, because a lot of the times what happens is you end up losing all the rights to whatever it is that you did. But in this one, I still have the rights to it. So I'm going to take you guys behind the scenes and show you guys a little bit about what is going on. So first thing I'd like to introduce you guys to is the thread technique. So as you can see here, we have this E that's extending from one chord to the other. Here we have this note that is extending through 3 different chords, and then we have this note that is extending through the duration of this. And so the thread technique is really, you're trying to make one voice last as long as possible through the progression of chords, right? So here we just have C to E minor, so the note that we're keeping is E. And actually G you could see here, but then the G continues, and then the E changes. So this is called the thread technique. You have many different voices, some of which are moving, some of which are staying, and that's why they call it the thread technique, because it allows for a thread to be tied through the progression, and it allows things to be much more connected and much more fluid. So I'm just going to play this in its entirety. See, this is staying, Still staying. Now this is our thread. Right, so that's a really important aspect of this section here, because I'm trying to go for the more sort of James Horner sound. So that's what we have going on there. And then for this next section, we introduce the solo violin, which is the player Nathalie Bonin, who's a great violinist. So what we're going to do is take a look at how I voice this section and look at a technique called contrary motion. So contrary motion is in general where we have one voice that's going one way and one voice that's going the other way. Pretty much is self-explanatory with the phrase contrary motion. What contrary motion allows for things to do, it allows for a polarity in a sense. One note is going one way, one note's going the other way, and we have this sense of movement and this sense of openness. And so here what you can see is we have a situation where this note goes down, goes up, goes up, goes up, but then we have, right, this is a chord inversion, and then we open that up, and then we open it up even more, and then we go to a more closed chord setting, and then we go again closed, open, 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 right? So I'll just play that. And you can see this note went down while this note went up. That's contrary motion. Boom, boom, again. So what you could do, right, you could take this note right here, and you could do it like this, right? It's not going to sound as rich as if you were to open it up. See, it sounds much more closed, much more... It's lacking the lush quality that you would have if you did it this way. So I'm just going to play this again. And then we're simply transposing this exact same voicing up. And see, this voice goes down, this voice goes up. So contrary motion is very, very helpful if you're trying to go for a nice smooth sound in general. So that's just a little introduction to the world of voicing and film scoring. And you can see over here, I'm just going to play this with the full ensemble so you can hear how I'm using voicing in the larger picture. There's just a little introduction to voicing. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you guys have any further questions or comments, or if you guys think I missed something, please put that down below. And if you guys have any recommendations for future videos, please do put that down below also. So thank you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Bye.